Welcome back, guys, to East 10, Nordics, where last episode, our climb of Serena's Island brought us upwards and then inside, descending through a cave complex to reach the place where Lila was being held captive. Learning that it was the trident who had encapsulated her, or more specifically Logger, he transformed to face us as the relisher of Saga's Magmel Mananan, forcing us to kill him and for Kaja to absorb his essence, freeing Lila, who we now take outside to breathe some fresh air.
The white shade. It's gone.
I mean, Logo was the one who was doing it. Logo was doing that.
Aye. The marine triangle makes for a fairer sight this way.
So, you've been kept up for a while, huh? Small talk.
Yes, as shameful as that may be. Adol, Karja, allow me to thank you for coming to my rescue. I especially appreciate your traveling all this way, Adol.
I mean, sorry it took so long.
You've gone through so many hardships on my behalf. There are no words to express my gratitude. Karja, how are you faring? It would seem your and Adol's combined powers have been able to keep your condition under control.
Yeah, somehow. But more importantly, we've got a mountain of questions to ask you.
I can only imagine. Where to even begin?
First off, are you a human or what? And how do you know so much about me?
I am a spirit who has inhabited Obelia Gulf since time immemorial.
A spirit?
I am also Rollo's wife, as well as your forebear.
What?
So, you're Karja's ancestor.
Yes, of that there is no doubt.
Let me get this straight. I'm descended from Rollo and you. A spirit?
Correct. I expect this revelation comes as a shock.
Then, what was Rollo's connection to the three generals?
I will explain everything from start to finish. Adol, I ask that you listen close as well. Our story begins roughly 140 years ago. In a Norman settlement, Rollo was born as the son of the Jarl. He was an irascible babe, even biting off the ear of the wet nurse who delivered him. As a young boy, his deeds and demeanor were marked with a brutality not even the Normans could bear. His elders, their tolerance exhausted, brought him on a plundering expedition before he came of age. Rollo performed many a great feat upon the fields of battle, but he fought with such ruthless savagery that even his allies feared and abhorred him.
Right. Parts of this were recorded on the runestones we've seen.
Yes, but the most significant is yet to follow. Eventually, Rollo slew his father, the Jarl, and visited tyranny upon every corner of the North Sea. It was then that he heard the rumors of a hidden treasure, known as the Sea King's Throne. In time, he appeared unto me, the throne's keeper.
The Sea King's throne? The one that can grant people's wishes?
So that means the throne was here. Was.
No, the throne is located elsewhere. As I was saying, there he was. Rollo had managed to reach the temple that housed the throne, all by his lonesome. Son of man, what is it you seek?
Everything!
And what does that entail?
What else? Riches, women, and land.
Those desires are not your own. They are those of the ones who led you here.
Huh?
Gaze into the water's reflection.
What in blazes?
Someone saw fit to lade an empty vessel with pure malice. You are that vessel. Who, then, does that make you? From the instant we met, I could tell there was something irregular about him. Standing before my eyes, it was as though he were the very embodiment of malice. Far more than a single human being could possibly harbor.
Malice?
Yes. At the same time, his very existence evoked a feeling of dissonance. The malice was unadulterated, to the point where there was no sense of personhood to be found. But then...
Who am I?
You. Could it be? That exchange led me to a realization. It wasn't that Rollo lacked an individual self. Rather, it was such a diminutive size that the malice pushed it to the depths of his heart. What's more, the seed of said malice was planted by an external force.
Huh? But who? And why?
That I do not know. From there, subsequent events caused Rollo to become aware of his own abnormalities. He then returned from a lengthy voyage, after which I seated him upon the Sea King's throne. His sole wish? To live as a normal human being. The throne granted his plea, and thus did he regain his identity. However, at that moment, the malice embedded in him was set free. Hubris, Nihon, and lust. Such are the true forms of Other, Lager, and Yurth, respectively.
Okay, so then what happened to them? They obviously gained some kind of form? From what? From how? How did the Grieger come about?
Immediately following their release? Nothing of note. Rollo repented for his past actions and became the ruler of this land, ushering it into prosperity.
As the Duchy of Norgard, right?
Yes. The nation flourished and peaceful days prevailed for some time. Rollo and I were wed, and together we had a child. Then, one fateful day, those aspects of malice that were thought to have dissipated re-emerged with Grieger in tow, and by their hands, the entirety of the realm was stricken by the great calamity. Rollo prepared several arcs in which he sent his subjects to safety, but immediately after that, he disappeared from Obelia Gulf entirely.
That was written on the runestone in the Flumen Strait.
In order to protect this land he so loved, I kept the malice sealed away here. Until a few short months ago, that is. The generals, having regained their power, turned the tables and sealed me away in their place. I used the last of my remaining strength to imbue a seashell with mana and send it out into the sea.
And Adol wound up finding that same shell in Karnak.
Karja. Even while maintaining the seal, I had been able to sense your presence. But just what are these shackles that bind you? They seem to be a product of mana.
Oh, right! That's one of the things I wanted to ask about. But going by what you just said, I'm guessing it doesn't ring a bell.
Unfortunately not. And although I'm sure you've already grasped this, the Trident's aim is to root themselves into your heart and give rise to Rollo anew. That is what must be addressed first and foremost.
Okay then. I want to save Karja. Well, to be honest, us being bound to her is probably the thing that's meant to do that. But if it's not by Lila, who did it? How can I help?
Well, before anything else, you must avoid battling the last of the 3 generals. If Karja takes Other's essence into herself, Rollo will surely be revived.
Nothing doing. We're taking him down, and that's that.
But why?
You haven't forgotten, right, Shield Brother? Unless we defeat Other, you'll die.
What do you mean by that?
Adol and Karja explain the Sea Serpent's curse to Lila.
I see. This curse is potent indeed. Forgive me, but I can offer no aid here.
I mean, you don't have to apologize. Not your problem, really.
But under these circumstances, one of you will be doomed no matter what we do. Adol, Karja, would you accompany me to the Seabed Temple of Ire?
Seabed Temple?
Yes. It is where I once lived, as well as the location of the Sea King's throne. Provided its power is still usable, there may yet be hope.
Well, where do we find it?
Chomping at the bit already, huh?
The Seabed Temple is further west from the Marine Triangle. Specifically, in what are known as the Waters of Creation, the Raoul Dark Sea.
Wait a minute! The Raoul Dark Sea is home to the most treacherous waves in all of Obelia Gulf. We don't even have a ship now that Logger's out of the picture.
Oh, I doubt that will be a concern. Just look at the horizon behind you.
That's Sandra's! But why?
Oi, they sure were quick about those repairs.
That isn't even the part I'm talking about. They shouldn't have any reason to fall in with us anymore.
The 2 of you have surmounted a great many tribulations up to this point. I imagine the experience has left you with grievous wounds, Karja. In mind and body both. But while there are undoubtedly more trials yet to come, you must hold your head high, Karja Balta. For there is also much you have gained in the course of this journey.
And so ends chapter 8. Lila, we are rocketing forward. 7 and 8 completed in no time at all.
What? You say the Balta Seaforce is nearing us?
Yes, I made absolutely sure just a moment ago.
It's safe to assume that they're scouring around for the Sandras.
Then we can't afford to just sit back and twiddle our thumbs anymore. Might want to drum up a plan, Mr. Mayor.
Right. Cruz, are the ship's repairs close to completion?
If you give us another half day, we can get her fit to sail for a while.
Grin, I take it your feelings on the matter haven't changed?
What do you think? We won't set one foot on the Sandras if it means waving a white flag to the Seaforce.
Use your head, would you? It was precisely to keep us out of harm's way that Adol and Karja left. You heard what that logger guy said. There's not a thing we could do for them. Better we focus on rebuilding Karnak, don't you think?
Sorry, Dad. It's not that we can't see where you and the mayor are coming from. But it's thanks to those two that we've grown so much and made it this far.
If we don't step up and help them with this, we'll regret it for the rest of our lives. We can do more than just hold them back now, and this is our chance to prove it.
Not to mention, it's up in the air how the Seaforce will treat us if we throw in the towel. For all we know, they'll conscript us into their ranks and force us to fight Adol and Karja instead.
Mr. Mayor, say something!
Whatever arguments you have are nothing more than opinions motivated by emotion. Thus far, I have allowed the Sandras to operate out of necessity in order to save the townsfolk. But at this stage, I can by no means permit you to take up with Adol and Karja. As mayor of Karnak, it is my responsibility to protect the lives of its citizens.
We won't ask for permission, Mr. Mayor, out of respect for your position. But even still, they're our friends. More than that, we owe it to them to go to their rescue. Won't you at least turn a blind eye? Just this once. We need your support as our friends and family.
Mirabelle.
Mira.
It's much too risky.
As far as helping the town goes.
But they're only children.
Exactly.
I'm
Speaking as
scared
a
out of my
parent,
wits.
we cannot stay
but-
idle.
How do we go about
The
this?
choice to live.
Senseless fools, all of you. Everyone, what we just heard speaks to the self-centered inexperience of the Sandras's crew. As such, I refuse to accompany them any longer. Instead, I will be remaining here to petition the Balta Seaforce's aid in reconstructing Karnak.
Pops? What gives?
We have no reason to believe the Seaforce will treat us non-hostile townsfolk poorly. I will take responsibility for this decision, as well as the ensuing negotiations.
You mean it? Yes! It's about time you saw things my way, Mr. Mayor.
We have no more business with you. Now take that boat and be off at once. Were the Sandras present, the Seaforce would surely attack.
Rafe? You really gonna let this happen?
Time to go, Gren. The mayor made himself clear. Let's get on the Sandras and shove off.
Shall we be on our way, Rosa?
Huh? But...
What's gotten into you guys?
Just come on.
Are you all out of your minds? How can we just leave them there like that? Cruz, mind getting the goofball here up to speed?
Sure. You'd think I wouldn't have to. But locking horns with the mayor always turns you into such a... well, such a Gren.
Why are you using my name like it's an insult? A guy can only get called a dumbass or a goofball or whatever so many times before it gets old.
Actually, I'm not really sure what's going on either.
It's unfortunate that the mayor talked some of the townsfolk into leaving the Sandras. But we've still got a decent number of people who stayed on board, don't you think?
I guess? The Balta Seaforce is no longer our ally. We're on our own now, and things are only gonna get tougher. Knowing that, what do you think would have happened if we dragged all the naysayers along for the ride?
Oh, they would feel tense and on edge, dampening our spirits.
Exactly. Baggage like that would only weigh us down in combat. Heck, we could have even had a mutiny on our hands if things shook out the wrong way.
A mutiny?
At the very least, morale would plummet, preventing us from acting as we see fit. It hurts to say. I think my dad would contribute pretty strongly to that.
Then, The mayor was doing us a favor?
By taking the lead, he made sure that anybody opposed would stay off the ship.
Yes. That way, we're able to function more smoothly as a crew.
Fewer hands on deck means less firepower, but staying united is what matters most right now.
Here I was thinking we'd manage to strike our own path. But it turns out we still need others to help push us along.
You think I didn't already know all this?
Huh?
He's my pops. I've got a handle on how his mind works. But be real here. Can they really ride things out on that island by themselves?
Ah, now I understand. You're worried about them, aren't you?
Like hell, I mean, not even close.
Aw, look who's finally maturing.
Hey, even small fry know how to grow. I'm not one to talk, but your father-son duo's got some personality issues.
You aren't alone, Gren. Every one of us feels the same way. But sometimes, butting heads can teach you more about each other than you realize.
Mira.
Alrighty. Sounds like you guys talked things out.
Doki, you were eavesdropping?
Yep. And while I'm at it, let me share a few words of thanks. It means a lot, the way you stuck up for Adol and Karja.
Allow me to extend my gratitude as well, on Miss Kaja's behalf.
Oh my, even Ezer's listening in.
If anything, we're the ones who should be grateful.
Yeah, no kidding.
Chapter 9.
Wait, you put yourselves through all that just to get here?
Normans help their pals out, rain or shine. That's the way you do things, right?
Normans also shoot at their princess, so I'm not quite sure we're going by those rules anymore.
Or what? You try to say we aren't your pals, Karja?
No, but...
Hey, thanks for bailing us out.
You should have just led with that.
Seriously, just think of all the ways you've helped us so far. I can't believe you tried to up and leave before we were paid the favor.
That aside, are you doing all right, Princess? You wound up taking Logger's essence into you as well, didn't you?
Yeah, to be honest, I can't say I'm feeling too hot.
From the looks of it, you're barely managing to keep a lid on things. If you want to make for that seabed temple, the sooner the better.
Good thing we arrived just when you needed a ship. Now we can make ourselves useful right out of the gate.
Still, who could have guessed the Sea King's throne actually exists? Out of curiosity, Miss Lila, does the throne really grant whatever wish you make of it?
It won't respond to just anybody. Even should one manage to reach the throne, I must still deem them worthy. After all, it wouldn't do to allow wishes of ill intent to be realized.
That's what I figured.
Oh.
Got something to say?
Nope.
Nothing at all.
Not in the least.
All told, I have to question whether we can truly make it to the Seabed Temple. Navigating the Raoul Dark Sea would entail us crossing the Vortex Path.
Vortex Path?
It's a nautical region that endlessly churns with countless whirlpools. The waters there are so dangerous that even the Balta Seaforce rarely ventures through.
Yes. I imagine it will make for an arduous voyage. We would do well to reinforce the ship in whatever way possible.
Sure. I'll give it everything I've got.
Another point of concern is keeping Karja from coming into contact with Other. If she absorbs his essence, it will only be a matter of time until Rollo awakens.
We'll just have to reach the throne before he gets the chance.
No time to sit back and relax then.
Alrighty. What are we waiting for? Let's set sail pronto!
Lila has joined the crew of the Sandras. Increasing quite a lot of stuff. Mana barrier recharge, mana barrier potency, mana cell recharge, and mana cell acceleration. The recapture skill Spirit's Protection has been unlocked to replace some of the ones we've lost. Our affinity with Lila has increased. Affinity usually does when you bring someone down for being crucified. And Youth Brigade's recapture skills were enhanced. Let's Get 'em has added some exclamation marks. New skill added, Can't Sink Us. There's Very Cheers, there's just Very Cheers 2. Emergency Repairs is Emergency Repairs 2. We got now Bring Out the Big Guns. Devoted Nursing 2 and Mercenaries Touch 2. Adol and Dogi's recapture skills were also enhanced to the second forms. Hugil still with us.
Oh, a new letter?
Well, there's got to be a lot of stuff going on. Right, we're here. New person recorded in the adventure journal. Character notes. I'm doomed for these, probably. Affinity rating. So we can still build more affinity with people, by the way. So we're at 5 stars with you. We haven't maxed up everyone, if you know what I mean. Still quite a bit to go, except for Dogi. Dogi's sorted. Dr. Flare, Isa, Hugils. Mostly everyone else still has a lot to go. So therefore, it's probably going to take a bit of time to get through, isn't it? Or more to the point, we know there's a fair bit of game left, so only 70% total discovery rate. And the question is, can we can just go back? We can go to Boulder Island? About that. Seems like a weird one to do, doesn't it?
Mind taking the helm?
Looks like there's loads of quests appearing as well, to be fair. There's a quest from Isa. Oh, so much to do. Letting the two of you go was a mistake I'll regret for the rest of my life. That's a little extreme. You made the right call at the time. As a chamberlain, perhaps, but not as someone who has watched over you all this time, Miss Karja. Had Adol not been there, I would have been leaving you all alone. But everything's going to be okay now. Hey, glad to have you back with us. Thank you, Adol. I'm glad to be back. Now then, let's press onward, shall we? Something about this feels a little stilted. Probably just my imagination. Truly is thanks to all of you that we were able to come so far. Remind me to thank Mayor Clement for his consideration as well. Now then, let's press onwards to the Sea King's throne so that all those efforts won't be in vain. Alright, I guess we'll check your quest in a little bit. Told my mum not to come with us. Figure there's no way we can take her along where we're going. Guess that means the only people left on the ship now are the ones with a few screws loose. That includes you, you know. You really sure you want to come along? Hey, you're talking to the guy who took up work with a mercenary band. Mercs get to pick and choose when and where they want to fight, and that's exactly what I'm doing. It's like I mentioned before. I just want to make it so that my mum can live a peaceful life in Obelia Gulf. As for what comes after that, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Millet stayed with us. Not even I quite know why I decided to stay aboard this ship. When I surrendered to the Balta Seaforce, they might have brought me to safety. But that would most assuredly not have led to the freedom which I seek. Rather, I must fight for it. Observing you all has taught me as much. I guess it's a sweep to see who stayed. As things stood, I could not simply surrender myself to the Balta Seaforce. Rather, I must fight for my freedom. Interesting. You're Carpent Trading's remote branch now, are you? The Vortex Path in the Raoul Darksea. Just what kind of waters awaits us there? What Isa said, it sounds like they'll be pretty tough going. We'll have to buck up and power through it. I can see the adults who jumped ship shaking their heads already if we don't. Oh, by the by, my dad and I made an arrangement before parting ways. I'm going to be taking over Carpent Trading's operations aboard the Sandras for him. I'll also be in charge of any shops that were being run by the others who decided to disembark. Ugil can run errands for whatever we're lacking, so you don't need to worry about that. Call for me anytime there's something you need. You can now use Cruise's Carpent Trading branch.
I'll give it everything I've got.
Contribute materials as well.
Anything else?
You're dealing all the functions of the other things. We're up to new weapons. Storm Sailor. This would ruin us for cash money by the look of it. Ultimate Beast Meat. Costs 12k. Why buy all this new stuff with straight up cash? So that would 66k. 23,550. Just round it a little bit, I guess. It'd be like 57k, wouldn't it? 57,100. So I'd still have money left over. Not if I buy 2, though. I mean, it depends if we can upgrade it or not, doesn't it? The Calm Breaker. I won't equip them until I can upgrade them. It's a downgrade currently. Teal Coral Armor. Oh, I could buy 2 of these. Yeah, 32k in cash left.
See you later.
Guess I'd have to head to see about upgrading them and then I'll sort it out. Turn out the town was full of cowards. There's quite a lot of people here, to be fair. Pickards aren't cowards. Even the scaredy Pickard, I bet, is here. That's an interesting pose you get in there. Cocking your leg a bit, Dogie. I'm practicing my sailing poses. Oh, crews really got their game faces on. Guess that's to be expected, though. All of us made the choice to come here of our own free will. How things will turn out may be anyone's guess, but we've got nothing to be scared of. Great, you guys might actually be a little too reliable. Hey, I'm glad you came for us, Dogie. Yeah, come on, what else are pals for? Now let's go, you two. Onward to even greater adventures. Maybe he's doing maybe he's taking a photo shoot from somewhere we don't know. He's practicing his model poses, look. Vogue. How things will turn out may be anyone's guess, but we've got nothing to be scared of. Now let's go, you two. Onward. L to the yeah, this is how the Sandras ought to be. You think so too, don't you, Hugil? Still, never could have guessed my pops would be the one to give us the push we needed. That was easily my least cool moment ever. Wish I was... I don't know even how to put it. I want to be the kind of man who can make up his own mind about stuff and then just do it, you know? What's that? You agree with me? Well, I guess it all hinges on what happens next, for me and everyone else too. What's the deal with this seabed temple anyway? It's at the bottom of the ocean, going by the name, right? How are we supposed to get all the way down there by boat? Yep, you stay here and keep Gren out of trouble. Oh, come on, Kaja. Harsh much? What's the deal with the seabed temple anyway? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the Picard. Get away. Shippy indeed. Get out of here. So, Ashley stayed. And oh, well, 100% thought Father Covet was going to say. We're obviously more interesting to you. So, spirits and stuff actually exist, huh? Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to stare. Not only can they exist, they can also get with humans. And have children. So, what is a spirit exactly? What's the differentiating factor? Immortal? It's quite alright. There is much in this world that simply has yet to be observed. So too are there those people who cannot help but to seek them out. Such as Adol, for instance, and yourself. I'm not like that at all. I mean, you're not the first or last mysterious blue-haired girl Adol will come across. Until now, I'd only ever heard of spirits and stuff in fairy tales. I wonder if she's right, though, about me being the kind of person who can't help seeking things out. I see. So this is where you come to discuss things as a group, or enjoy a bit of leisure time. Rosa, what ails you? Huh? Oh, I was just thinking about how similar you and Kaja look. Ah yes, it caught me by surprise as well. Kaja's perspective though, I would be her great-great-grandmother. So it's not all that odd that the two of us look somewhat similar. Great-great-grandmother? How many generations back is that even? Let's see, her mother's mother is a grandmother, and her grandmother's mother is a great-grandmother. Correct, and I am the mother of her great-grandmother, making me her great-great-grandmother. I never realized you could just keep tacking them on. Ah, so that's how far apart we were. I mean, it's because people don't normally exist that long to be able to do it. The hull is rather old, but the care with which this ship is maintained lends it a cozy feeling all the same. Haven't seen the Sandras in its entirety. I must say that the love you all hold for her truly shines through. You and Lila are both so gorgeous, Kaja. Do you think the reason she hasn't aged at all is because she's a spirit? Wait, but that means... Am I going to get all old and wrinkly before Lila? Am I really going to get all old and wrinkly before Lila? Worst revelation ever. Now I know why they say ignorance is bliss. I expect that those who disembark from the ship are now under the protection of the Balta Seaforce, in which case my path is clear. I must continue to journey with all of you. Besides, there is something I personally hope to learn from this as well, to wit the truth behind the Duchy of Norgard's destruction. So half your reason is just personal curiosity. It's fine though, I know you can hold your own. Yeah, solve the mystery together. By all means. My word, but we certainly see eye to eye, don't we, Adol? Oh, for heart's sake, what am I going to do with you two? Oh yes, and you're Lila, correct? I'm told that you were Rollo's consort. You simply must tell me about those times when you have a moment to spare. Hey, don't you start pestering her. That's why he's in the room for sure. Under the strength of your bonds and wills, you youths have been brought together once more. Now begins the time for you to shine at your brightest. I should be carefully observing what that light illuminates, as well as what it burns. What, so you're just going to sit back and watch? You're bored of this ship, so that makes you part of the crew, don't forget that. But of course, I shall do my very utmost to assist. Now begins the time for you to shine your brightest. Naturally, I shall do my very utmost to assist.